Namaste, beautiful yogis. Today I want to share with you how to build a first aid natural remedy kit at home or for travel. And I have always been very passionate about natural remedies, herbalism. As a matter of fact, it's a bigger passion of mine almost than yoga, or they go hand in hand. I have a huge herbal pharmacy at home. I make my own herbal preparations, and I have tried and tested pretty much everything. So here today I will just share with you how to build a first aid minimalist kit. So I'm just going to share with you the most important things you should and must have, and the things that you can take with you when you travel, or if you can't afford to have too many things, what are the things that are most effective and in my opinion an absolute must have. So I'm just gonna share with you the important things, and I'll spare you the details of things that are less important or less effective, or they take longer to work on you. Also, I will just share the things that are pretty much first aid remedies that you must have, because generally when you get sick, it's in the middle of the night, could be on the weekend, or if you're sick you can't run to the store. So in that sense, it's the things that you should have on hand already. So let's get started. Of course, health is always something that starts with a nice healthy lifestyle, of course. So a good diet and yoga and a strong mind or a balanced mind is what you first need, so that you can minimize getting sick. But nonetheless, even if you're very healthy, things happen, and that's that. We do need first aid remedies for things that happen kind of as an emergency, or just things happen. And a lot of the things that we deal with are infections, inflammation, flus, colds, poisoning. So in that sense, we need to have things to remedy those things immediately. Let's get started with what happens if you get an infection. And infection happens to anybody, but if you have an infection that is treatable with natural remedies, you should always go the natural remedies way. Why? Because if you use too many antibiotics, especially when you don't need them, things will just snowball on you, because the overuse of antibiotics will lead to more infections down the line, bad digestion, leaky gut. It will wipe out your good bacteria, so it is harder to rebuild your good bacteria. Once your digestion is not good, your immunity is not as strong, so you're more prone to more infections further down the line. Your digestion, absorption gets compromised. So for all these reasons, unless you absolutely need an antibiotic, you're better off always going the natural route. So now what I will share with you is not a compromise, it's not less effective, but natural. It's actually, in my opinion, more effective, yet natural. And as you can tell here, I have probably even 3 at the moment, but I will show you. I have this as my antibiotic on hand. It is the first and most important thing to have in your natural remedies kit. It is oil of oregano. I do consider it stronger than antibiotics in its how quickly it works. I do consider it more effective because it works on wider range of bacteria, and even has effect on fungal issues, on viral issues, which antibiotics are not good at. They don't cover viral issues. It is good for parasites, and also it is good for inflammation. So the way I use it is, if I feel that I have an infection, we're talking about first bacterial infection, then you just take 3 to 4 drops a day, 3 to 4 drops 4 times a day. And if it's a really big situation like an abscess, tooth, or just a very strong infection, then you can increase it a lot. a few more times a day, and it will work. It will work quickly. Now you could also use it topically in dilution in a carrier oil, say olive oil or almond oil or whatever carrier you have, and that can help you with inflammation and local pain. This has pain relieving properties. My first go-to for infections. You can use it for viral and fungal, as well as, of course, bacterial. And that is absolutely my first must-have. I always have it on hand because infections usually kind of wind up quickly, and it's good to have them. If you have a cut, it's good to put it in dilution to prevent infecting the cut further. And it is good for urinary tract infections or kidney infections, or even yeast infections. It is a very good solution. It works really well even on dogs. In smaller, obviously you have to adjust the dosage to their weight, but it works really quickly within the day for dogs for urinary tract infection. For urinary tract infection, you always want to avoid antibiotics because they guarantee you that you're just gonna get once a month a urinary tract infection if you use antibiotics, because once you use antibiotics you can't rebuild the flora in your system as effectively. So I know that friends of mine who use antibiotics for a urinary tract infection, they just keep getting them. It's a miserable experience. So you don't need to suffer with urinary tract infections if you have that. Now that doesn't wipe out your bacterial flora, but I still would say once you finish a course of this, which is 7 to 10 days depending, it's good to take some probiotics so that you can rebuild your flora. Also, make sure that you're eating a nice filled with fiber diet, and that also helps with your bacterial flora. That was the first, and I am keeping notes here so that I can stay on track. I have through the years given all this information to all my friends separately, one by one, on Facebook or on email. So I figured I have to make this video because I'm just gonna refer everybody to this video because I really recommend this to my mom, and it took me years to convince her to use oil of oregano. She didn't believe me. She always thought that antibiotics work faster and are more effective, up until she actually had an abscess and her antibiotics weren't working. For whatever reason, they just were not working. I kept telling her, take oil of oregano, and she would just take one drop here and there. So I told her, take it the way it's recommended, 4 drops, and it's the concentrated drops, not the capsules, 4 times a day at least. But maybe if the abscess is terrible, you can do, hers was actually she basically got an x-ray and it was in her sinus cavity, a terrible infection, and they were telling her she will need surgery. And she took it the way I told her to take it, and it went away within 2-3 days, but she continued taking it to make sure it's clear. So since then she buys it she would buy 3-4 bottles and she would gift it to friends. It is somewhat, it's not expensive, I wouldn't call it expensive, but it is an investment, because a bottle like this, I will list the ones I like, because not all oil of oreganos are, or all of oregano varieties are the same. I will list the ones I like. I like the ones that are in a dropper bottle because this will last you a few years and you can travel with it. Take it if you are eating food that you're not sure if it's contaminated. You can take it if you're not sure if you've been exposed to viruses, bacteria, and so forth. It just has many applications. And just a regular spice oregano that you put in your food won't work. The pizza oregano, the oregano that goes on pizza, is not that. This is wild oregano, steam distilled from the Mediterranean. That is it. Any other oregano doesn't have these properties. And it has really long, it's been used for a really long time, so it is something that has been known in ancient Greece and it's been used forever. It's also an antioxidant, so that's another added effect. It is good for candida, allergies, people use it for tumors, for gums. It is good for bacterial or for food poisoning, and it can kill, it is known to kill E. coli, salmonella, and other bacteria. So it is used even for food poisoning and so forth. It is really effective. I cannot say enough good things about oil of oregano. Also, it has been used as menstrual aid. It relieves cramps. You can try it that way. Of course, for cramps, I would say you have to clean up your diet so that you can clean up your reproductive system and you will have no cramps if you do that. But you can use it for cramps if you're suffering from cramps. The next remedy is something that you're probably not gonna have to use often, but I still think it is a must-have in your natural remedy kit, because if you happen to get food poisoning, you generally need it immediately, ASAP. So that is what I recommend having. It is activated charcoal. I will list everything below, or the most important things below. You have to have it, in my opinion. This will last you years and years, because if you get food poisoning and you're throwing up, the surface of the charcoal swells up 300 times and it absorbs poisons and toxins that you may have ingested. So it will prevent you from throwing up, because it will absorb them and neutralize them and carry them out of your system. So drink a lot of water and take charcoal, and you're most likely not going to throw up. And even if you do, it will prevent you from getting the further effects of food poisoning, which can be very scary. So this has saved a lot of my friends, and I always have it, because if I eat something and then I kind of feel sick and nauseous, or I need to throw up, and I'm suspecting that there was something contaminated in what I ate, it will just basically fix that situation immediately, and you may not even know if you ate anything poisonous, because it will just eliminate that situation altogether. So it is also good for hangover, bloating, drug overuse, gas and such things, but trap toxins and chemicals. But you know, most likely you're going to use it either for hangover or for just food poisoning. And one thing to remember is don't take it with vitamins or away from food, because it will absorb those too, so you're wasting your vitamins. But at the same time, don't take it daily or anything like this. Just take it if you need it. Take it if you actually have symptoms of food poisoning or you ate something bad. I also basically take a few capsules in my travel bag with me, in case something happens on the airplane, I eat something, or you know, anything can happen on the airplane with dirty hands and stuff like this. So it's good to have it, and it really protects you from food poisoning. Now, the next remedy is something that you will buy from the laundry department in a big grocery store or something like that. So it is borax. And this is a great antifungal remedy that you can use to add to your laundry, but at the same time you can use for your body, for fungal issues, feet, candida infections, and yeast infection, and also as a rinse on doggy's eyes, or anything that is kind of like it has a fungal yeast origin, or it also has effect on bacterial infection. So it is a pretty good thing. You can use it in a solution as a soak. It can be used in capsules, so you have to place it in capsules. Vaginally is the best, absolutely the best yeast infection candida remedy. Externally, obviously for males, it can be used as a wash, but it's always the most effective thing you can ever use for fungal yeast infection. And I don't know anything that is more effective than borax. Those things will prevent you from having to suffer with something developing even further, infection, candida, and so forth developing further, and then having to take much more toxic remedies, which this has been used pretty safely over the years. Next, essential oils always should be added to your natural remedy kit. I do think that you can never go wrong with essential oils. Now, if you can't afford too many, the one essential oil that you should always have on hand is lavender. Now, don't get any essential oil that just kind of is at the grocery store or even at Whole Foods, because those, they smell good, but a lot of them do not work, in my opinion. You should, if you are going to have one essential oil, invest in a therapeutic grade, organic, pure, 100% pure organic therapeutic grade French lavender. Now, I really love this company. It is not, unfortunately, online. They do not sell on Amazon. They're hard to find. In town, only few stores carry them. I will link their name below. They are Veriditas. I don't know if they're European. They don't have the stamp not for internal use, because they're so pure, and that any oil that says not for internal use, do not buy it, because that means they don't have they're not therapeutic grade. So this one is so pure, you can put it directly on skin burns and cuts, and it will not burn you. It will just start the healing process. You can also use it for beauty purposes, but that's not a beauty video. That's a kind of a natural first aid kit video. You can use it on your face, underneath your serums and your creams. You can check out my skincare videos, but you can use it for beautiful radiant skin, for acne, directly on blemishes, and of course it is amazing for stress, anxiety, to settle your mind, to help you sleep, to help with racing thoughts and racing mind. It's great for insect bites and headaches. It's great for headaches and sleepiness and so forth. So if you're going to get one essential oil, get this. Of course, if you wanna splurge, or if you want to build your natural pharmacy, get peppermint as well. Peppermint is good for your tummy. You can put it externally, and if you get therapeutic grade, you can take it internally for tummy aches and digestive issues, which is another thing that happens very, it's one of the things that are most common things to address. Another one is lemon. They all have antibacterial properties too, so they're good in that sense too. Also in situations when you're traveling and not sure if you're exposed to some contaminated food. Lemon is also good, and also if you get it therapeutic grade, you can use a few drops in water as detox in the morning. It will detox your system. Another thing that happens to us, kind of like an emergency situation, is injuries, and you can predict injuries basically. So you should always be prepared and have arnica on hand. If you have an injury, like to your joints or to your muscles or to your soft tissue, you should always have Arnica montana homeopathic on hand. And the way I recommend to take it is you shake it first, because with homeopathy you activate the properties of homeopathy by shaking it. And after that, if you take this company, which is Boiron, you just release a few of the pellets in the cap. You do not touch it with your hands, because homeopathy obviously is it is a energy medicine, so you want to keep it clean, and you just place it under your tongue. It works like you wouldn't believe it. It works amazingly. For me, I have used it quite a bit with injuries, and it gets basically it springs your body into healing very quickly, especially if you take it immediately at the site of injury. If you have a swollen ankle or something, you just stepped on the wrong thing, or a dog pulled you forward and you injured your shoulder, which is something that I used it recently for. You just take it immediately, and you can take it every 15 minutes up until you start seeing that it's starting to work. Also, you can use arnica gel for directly on the injury. This is how much I love this one. I will list it below. I get it from Amazon. It is the rub. It has not just arnica, but a bunch of other homeopathic ingredients added to it, and it is great for bruises and for injuries and muscle pain, back pain, and so forth. Now, from the same company, I didn't bring it with me, I have it in the other room. You can take for it is more for skin issues, skin irritation, healing the skin, the calendula one. Check out, I will post everything on my website too, so you can click over there for a little more, for added remedies that I'm not including in the video, because this video is just strictly first aid. Now, flu and colds, that probably I should have started probably with that, but never too late to talk about flu and colds. The best thing you can do to prevent yourself from suffering with colds and flu is obviously a great diet. If you eat, I'm feeling baby kicks which is always so sweet to feel. I'm 9 months pregnant right now, and I can feel her kicking. The one thing that you should always focus first is your general health and just prevention, of course. So a lot of fresh fruits for me are always the best way to prevent any getting sick. I haven't had colds and flu, so that's why probably I didn't include it in the beginning, because I always eat so much raw fruits that basically boost my immune system, and also making sure that your digestive system is clean and you don't have a lot of backed up processed foods in your digestive tract that will obviously spike your immune system. Now, if you happen to, and also no dairy. The best thing you can do for your body and for preventing colds and flu is no dairy. Dairy tends to be probably one of the worst things after meat, worst foods for making your digestive system just not effective, and from there affecting your immunity, affecting your hormonal health, and so forth. So the best thing you can do is obviously diet and a lot of raw. Do not cook fruit. You can have some cooked fruit as a treat or at a party or whatever, but cooked fruit is acidic, so you want to alkalize your system with fresh veggies, raw fruits. You can lightly steam vegetables or eat them raw. You don't have to just eat them raw, you can eat them cooked, and that's fine. Anyways, so if you do get sick, I would say drink 2 liters of hot tea, at least 2-3 lemons. Just literally hit it hard, overdo it. And one thing, oregano also works for that, and one thing that I swear by, and it will prevent any cold or any flu, is, if you need me to do a very detailed description of how I do this, let me know, is a piece of onion or a piece of garlic in your ear and tape on top. The way you will prepare the garlic is you will cut it big enough to fit into your ear, but make sure that it's not too small and travels inside. Peeled, so there's no peels. If it's a massive big piece of garlic, then you will slice it and you will remove the inner core, so that also doesn't just dislodge and travels in. If you have a big piece of garlic, you're safe. And at first it may burn a little bit. Some people say it burns. For me, it kind of doesn't. I feel it for the first 15 minutes and then it settles in. And after that I put tape on top and it kills everything. It is not just for ear infections, it is for throat infection, sinus infection, viruses, cold, flu, and also it has it has pain alleviating properties, so it just basically gets you out of pain quickly, especially if you have throat pain, any pain or low energy. Garlic has some effect on your energy levels, and basically it's also because it's keeping the virus or the bacterial infection down. Now, if it's more in your chest, both of them work, but onion works better on the lungs, to where garlic works better on the ears and the sinuses. They both work interchangeably. If you don't have one, use the other. And the way you have to use it, unfortunately, is wear it for 12 hours at least and then change it with a new one. Otherwise, it probably won't work if you already have the virus in your system, because as soon as you take it out, the virus is kind of deactivated but still there. So you want to completely kill it for wearing this or having this in your ear for a few days. Most people don't want to do this remedy, and they prefer to go the whole course of the flu, which is a miserable experience, and that has happened. Just probably a few months ago, we got exposed, my partner and I got exposed to probably a viral, or just we got exposed to the flu basically. So we both felt it coming on, and I never feel anything coming on. I usually can be around sick people and I'm fine, but now I'm pregnant, so I felt like, oh, this time I may get it and this will not be good. I don't want to get the flu while I'm pregnant, because it just does not sound like it's gonna be a pleasant experience. So I immediately went for the garlic in the ear, and I don't care if I smell, I don't care about anything. If I have to go out, I'll wear a hat, but I just couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk getting sick. He really doesn't like the garlic in the ear remedy. To him, it's kind of like unpleasant and just yucky. So he was sick for quite a bit, probably over 8 days, and the cold kept, or was it a cold or a flu, I don't know, but it kept dragging on for him with low energy, muscle aches, and like just really stuffy nose, can't breathe, and all the symptoms, the nasty symptoms that it goes on with. For me, usually I'm more predisposed when I'm pregnant to colds, because my immunity is lower due to pregnancy, and I still didn't get it. So that shows you how strong and powerful this was, because we both started getting feverish in the evening, and we just basically got sick together. And he had to go through the whole course of the disease, to where I was able to exercise, be active, feel good, and so forth. And he was just knocked out for a few days, and then he had the post symptoms for a few more days. So to me, the unpleasantness of the garlic is far less unpleasant than having a cold or a flu. That's my best remedy for colds and flus. Also, another one to take as a prevention, I don't have it right here on hand, but it's the wellness formula. Not sure by which company, I will list it. We get it on Amazon, and it is just a herbal supplementation with a few vitamins like zinc and vitamin C and so forth added to it, with a lot of garlic in it, propolis, which is not a vegan ingredient, but to me it's something that I am okay with, and has a bunch of other echinacea and a bunch of other ingredients added to it, and it's a good prevention. Also, once you get the cold, it's good to just take it in large quantity. Another essential oil I forgot to mention, if you are gonna get a few, it's chamomile. Again, it's great for pain relief, for calming a racing mind, or calming for anxiety and other kind of anxious situations. So it is another good oil to get. It's also for inflammation, which goes along with pain. It's for eczema, rashes, skin conditions, headaches, and so forth. So it is good to have on hand, but not necessary. You can just stick to the lavender if you don't want to, get too many things at the same time. Another thing to just have on hand, it's an aloe vera plant. Just have the plant planted either inside or outside, and you can use it for burns and for skin conditions, for moisturizing your skin. Just, it will come in handy in general. Aloe is always good for most body parts. It's safe and it is good. It's moisturizing and it's very soothing. Another thing that we have I have recommended to friends a lot, and everybody swears by it after they try. It's hydrogen peroxide, but it has to be food grade and 3% in the ear if you get a cold, because the rhinovirus goes through the ear possibly, although I don't know if it is completely 100% known, but for whatever reason, if you are exposed to someone with a flu or someone contaminated and you feel that you're coming down with a cold, usually hydrogen peroxide, food grade 3%, goes in the ear while you're laying on your side, and it starts to kind of crackle, and it kills the virus pretty quickly. I don't use it a lot. As I mentioned, I don't get the flu and cold often because I really try to focus on diet and prevention, and that's the best route. But it can happen. The worst that it can happen for even healthy people is if we are flying, we're stressed and underslept, we get exposed to a virus, we can all get sick. Speaking of Borax, another one that is kind of, it's not a first aid one, but it is a good natural remedy kit. It's black walnut extract. You can make your own by purchasing. I will list on my website how to make it. You can make your own, or you can purchase it. Black walnut tincture. That is a very good one for any fungal skin issues. We humans tend to get fungal stuff quite often, dogs too. Topically, it kills a lot of things, kind of like athlete's foot and jock itch and such things. So it's just a good thing to have for fungal infections that may happen. Chamomile tea, it's very good. I think I have a recipe on my channel of how to do a concentrated chamomile extract, which is really good for, like, if you have really bad insomnia, for knocking you out basically. Which is basically you're going to have to brew a very strong tincture, a very strong extraction of chamomile with 1 ounce of the herb, which is a lot because the herb is very light, in just a cup of water, and you reduce it to literally just a couple of tablespoons, and you take this. It's very bitter. It's kind of like, think of it as the espresso of chamomile tea, and that one is very calming and very helpful for insomnia, extreme insomnia really. Another thing, I didn't bring it with me, but I do have it in my bathroom, is black seed oil. I do recommend having it again for any skin conditions, and it's good also for beauty things, for growing your hair and for your skin, but it is nice antiviral. It's for internally, it's taken for asthma, otherwise it's for candida and infections, skin infections, inflammation, yeast, bacteria, and so forth. It is an oil, but it's not quite like a oil, and it's not quite an essential oil. It's in between. It's a very strong extraction of a seed, so it is very potent. It doesn't taste all that great, but it is very good for basically a bunch of skin conditions, fungal infections, and so forth. It is also great for, it is used for scars, acne scars. It's also used surprisingly very effectively. It's used for MRSA, Salmonella, and E. coli, Listeria, staph infections, and other things. So it's a really powerful oil. I do recommend having it on hand, and also kind of knowing a little bit about it, so if something happens, you know when to use it and how to use it. It is also internally used for H. pylori. It is very powerful, and the studies on it are so promising. I will try to list the studies, but if I don't, just Google them and you will you will know. And also it's used for cancer and high blood pressure and stuff like this, diabetes, but you can read more about it. And you can also buy the seed. You can mix the seed with something sweet or something that makes it a little easier to take internally. The peppermint is also great for digestive issues and nausea. Let's see, I do have also, if you're an essential oil fan, I do also have Bulgarian lavender. It's also very pure. I get it from a Bulgarian representative for America who just strictly sources them directly from Bulgaria. So it's pretty direct. He is on Amazon. I will list him below. I randomly met the owner of the company at one of the health food expos, and we just kind of had a Bulgarian chat because we realized they're a Bulgarian company with a lot of rose-based products, a lot of lavender-based products, a lot of skincare products that are based on either Bulgarian lavender or on Bulgarian rose, which is one of the best rose oils you can get. The Bulgarian lavender smells completely different than the French lavender. So that's for the essential oil fans. You will like this one more because it smells more fragrant, more floral. It's very floral, to where the French one, it's more, it has more herbal and green scent than a floral scent. This one has an amazing floral scent. They are different because they come from different areas and they have different properties. So this one also can be used for beauty, of course, and again, pain relief, massage, calming the emotions and senses. And you can compare them, and actually if you do compare them, please either place it in the comments below or write to me. I'm pretty curious to know what experiences you have with the two different lavenders. Lavenders in general, all oils in general, act differently when they are from different places in the world. So obviously I'm using both and I love them both. Another one is castor. This is black castor and this is just castor oil. It is good for cramps and pain and internal organ pain, applied as a poultice. Basically you soak a cloth or a cheesecloth with warm castor oil, not hot, don't burn your skin, and you place it, say, on your liver or on your cramps, menstrual cramps, and you place a hot water bottle on top, and this is very effective because it penetrates deep into the surface, into the tissues, and it has a very healing properties on pain and inflammation and just generally for cramps and such things. It's very helpful to have around, but it's extremely messy, so you have to deal with the mess of, it's not even oil, it is a wax, so it is very messy to use, but it is very effective. I will finish today's first aid kit remedy video with one more thing that I find that is good to have as an emergency tool always, and it is the back remedy, rescue remedy. It's a first aid relief for any stressful situation. So if something very traumatic happens, you have it on hand and you take it immediately under your tongue. It is very helpful for just basically very traumatic situations that happen quickly, and you should always go to this. All kinds of injuries and just trauma and just unforeseen situations that happen last minute or something like that. All right, so I hope this was helpful. If you want me to do a specific videos on more specific subjects about healing and herbalism, let me know and I can do some different ones, but this one was just something that I have been like a broken record with all my acquaintances and friends and family members, and I always have to go through all of this with everybody separately, so I've typed a lot, and I figured I will just summarize it in a video, and hopefully that will be very helpful to my friends, but also to just people that randomly come across this video. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you very soon with something interesting. Namaste.